In this tutorial, we're going to look at how a sales order is used to pull product from inventory. And that's going to be in physical inventory and also general ledger inventory. So you can see I've already created a sales order. It's a custom screen print sales order, but that's really kind of irrelevant in On-Site 7 because each line item can have its own set of properties which control how it flows through the system. In fact, you'll notice that we have a blank item and also a finished item on the same sales order. This was impossible in previous versions of On-Site. You had to use preprint specific sales orders. So let's briefly look at the setup of each of these items. If I go to my Haynes BVT, I can see that we're selling 22 of these to our customer. We're allowing it to be purchased and pulled from inventory. We're allowing designs to be applied to it. We're shipping it when we're done, and we're invoicing the customer for it. The finished product is a Hello Kitty printed t-shirt. We're pulling it from inventory. We're not purchasing it. We're doing no production of this item. It's already been produced, and it's sitting on our shelf. We're shipping it, and we're invoicing the customer for it. Now, if we go to our purchasing module, and again, purchasing is covered in full detail in other tutorials, but from our purchasing module, you can see we have a couple different tabs. I have a buy tab, I have a pull tab. So buy allows me to purchase from vendors, pull allows me to pull from inventory. So let's go ahead and pull our Hello Kitty shirt from inventory. And when I pull it from inventory, it's going to ask me which location I want to pull it from. I'll simply click on deduct. And I'm going to pull my Haynes BVTs, but I'm only going to pull half of those from inventory. The other half I'm going to purchase. So I pulled half. Let's go ahead and buy the other half. So I'm going to create a purchase order. And again, I'm covering these steps quickly. These are covered in more detail in other tutorials. And it's $2.03 we're paying. I've issued the purchase order. So now everything is now purchased on this order. Now in a normal scenario, this order would go through its normal steps of art, what other steps you have, production, shipping. We're going to go straight to invoicing. And we're going to go ahead and invoice the customer. We shipped them 22 of these. We shipped them 12 of the Hello Kitty printed T-shirts. Again, I'm going over this kind of very quickly as well. There's no defects on either of those products, and I'm now going to go ahead and mark this item as being or this order as being invoiced. Now, once I've done that, if I click on General Ledger, and you'll notice there's a couple different sections. The sales section covers general ledger entries related to sales. We're interested in the product section. So let's look at a related to product, just gives us a bigger view. And so let's look at what's going on here. Well, first of all, cost of goods screen print was increased. That account was increased because we sold some screen printed goods. The inventory work in progress was decreased $22.33. That was for the product that we purchased, the blank product that we purchased. The inventory, our physical inventory, was also reduced $23.35. That was because we pulled some of the blank product from inventory. So this represents the amount we purchased of the t-shirts. This represents the amount that we pulled from inventory. And lastly, we have an inventory account for Hello Kitty. So our actual Hello Kitty physical inventory was reduced as well. So that's the general ledger entries that are made. Now if we go over to our physical inventory module and we look at view all transactions and we go down to the end, you'll see that we have two deductions from inventory. One is from the Haynes BVT, the blank shirts, which were $23.35, and one was for the Hello Kitty printed shirts, excuse me, this item here, which was for 25.80, and the other one was 23.35. So if I go back to invoicing, I will see that my 23.35 and my 25.80, those inventory amounts for my general ledger, also match my physical inventory. So the system keeps track of all that automatically. Now, if we had just simply the blank product on this order, if we had simply pulled it from inventory, then we would not have an inventory. This account would be gone. If we had instead purchased the item and not pulled it from inventory, then this line would be gone. And this would just match this amount. If we had no blank items, if we only had finished goods on the order, then we would just have this entry and this entry. Now, you can also make these cost of goods accounts can also change based on products settings. Right now, this is controlled off the order type. So our cost of goods sold, which is the total of all of our inventory transactions in this case, is going to screen print because that's based on the order type. You could also make this feed off of the product. So we could have a cost of goods sold screen print. We could also have a cost of goods sold Hello Kitty that's attached to the product settings, and that would then feed into when you do invoicing. But that's a separate subject, and that subject is covered in your invoicing tutorials. So that concludes this tutorial on how to use order entry to get item out of your physical inventory and also out of your general ledger inventory.